Hi, y'all.
Hello, welcome everyone. Sorry about the slight delay, but thank you for your patience. For everyone that's here live tonight, welcome. My name is EmilyHanhan. This is Audra at home. And if you don't know us, this is my channel you're on. Audra has a channel, Audra at home. It's linked in the description box. All of our socials, all of our fun stuff like Patreon, PayPal, all that fun stuff is linked down there as well. If you feel like following along, or if you ever feel like, being a little generous, there's no pressure or none of that.
Mom, I am live streaming.
That is Audra's mother. There's always a little something happening here, whether it's
just grab it. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. Go ahead, Emily.
So welcome. Like I said, welcome to everyone that's here live. I see Honey and Satines and Josh, Killer King, and Feffy and Meg and Lori and Daisy and D. I was like, couldn't read that at first. Emily Original. Just like see so many lovely people, new and old, or all the peoples. Oh, thank you, Eeyore. And so tonight we're here and we just want to talk about this. I'm calling it a phenomenon that I've seen definitely over the last couple of years of kind of the audiences like turning on small beauty creators. Yeah. So it's something that I don't think is necessarily a new thing that's happening, but as small creators, we both are. And for me, somebody, and I think Audra as well, somebody that's been very active in the community, Audra as a creator, me as a viewer for many, many years, I definitely have seen it happen, and I'm always kind of like scratching my head about it and trying to figure out why this happened. So we wanted to talk about it because it's important to us. This community, this platform, very important to us. Yes. Welcome, Braun and Cicely, and and hello, Audra's mom. Oh wait, now I can't hear you, Audra.
Because I muted my mic. I told you that was going to happen, didn't I? So I was like, it doesn't matter that I said I'm live streaming, and I've explained this to her 17 times. She is still going to be like, hi. She's just standing at the door talking to Bo. I'm like,
I'm just the asshole that would be like, don't talk. Okay. Like, but also that's not my mother and that's not my relationship. So like, that's why I'm the asshole. Yes, all the friends. So kind of the theme for tonight, with us, we always like veer off and have little conversations here and there, but I'm excited to hear everyone's perspective too, because I know a lot of people in the chat are small creators or watch the community and support. So,
and Sharon already got us a good start there with, oh my gosh, Betty Jean got beat up due to launch difficulty. And so, like, this is a very, like, not necessarily just like small creators. This is an all creators thing that I will touch on right quick, which is, I don't know how many times people have to be told, sorry, Bo's drinking his water as loud as he can. I don't know how many times people have to be told that the creator literally has nothing to do with the actual launch. Like if I made a palette with Drench Cosmetics and we got together, did all this shit, guess what I don't have anything to do with? Anything having to do with, like, I don't have anything to do with how their internet is set up. I don't have anything to do with the orders, how they're going. Like, all I do is I pick some colors and some formulas that I enjoy. We put it together in a palette. I tell y'all, I'm like, what? I'm like, made palette. And then from there, it's like Drench doing all of the stuff, all of the work. So Betty Jean has no reason to apologize. Period. She shouldn't have to apologize. RBK should not have had to apologize at all. That is not their job. That's not what they do. They shouldn't be. My God, Bo. He drank the water too fast, and now he's like huffing over there. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I have a child. I'm just going to admit that I do have a child. I keep trying to say, I don't have any children. I don't want children. It's because I have this monster dog. Like,
yeah, like you already adopted a child and you live in a sitcom life with your mom and your child dog. Like,
I know. But like, the fact that she even had to, and the real point that I get to with that is people turning on small creators is the amount of people who thought it was perfectly acceptable to contact Betty Jean directly to try to get a palette when it was sold out. And then have the nerve to be like, I'm not going to keep following you, or I'm not going to keep following this cosmetics company if you don't get me this palette.
Yeah.
Like,
the fact that, so if you don't know, if you didn't see that launch happen, like the launch sold out in a minute. It was a pre-order launch, but it sold out in like a minute. Not only were the comments of Shroud, and I'm making an assumption that possibly as well Betty Jean, but I saw with my own eyes on Shroud's Instagram, the comments were filled with vitriol. Like not all of them, but there was enough people where I was like, this is a real thing. And then Betty Jean shared that she got, I am also making an assumption, at least one email. If one person sent an email, I would not be surprised if more people sent emails talking about the launch and how frustrating it was and how they're not going to support the brand or her. And it's just, okay. In this situation, my small criticism is that I think that the brand should have been more clear in how their pre-order was going to work in terms of quantity and really confirm this is a pre-order, there will be a launch. But the vitriol and the hatred that Betty Jean had to deal with when that wasn't her responsibility, the logistics, and also the fact that you create a palette that's highly desired, like, that's awesome. That's awesome that it sold out that quickly, that the pre-order sold out. Like, exactly. I was so confused by it. And I think it's really frustrating because I see in particular, my perspective is that smaller creators get, like, they have fewer chances. They have fewer chances to make a mistake or to have a release or collaboration release not go perfectly than a lot of these giant creators who continue to do things that, for me as a former viewer and then as kind of like an outsider watching, are distrustful, they lie, they're unethical, all of these things, and they continue to get support. But the entitlement that viewers have on smaller creators makes them so much quicker to just be like, well, then I'm done with you. You made one mistake, I'm done. Like,
yeah. And I think what I find so bothersome and disgusting is like not only the vitriol that came out was just the way that the gall, the audacity people had to try to contact her directly.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, if you don't get out my mentions, listen, I'm not the one to play with. I'm so sorry. I'm a 40-year-old lady. I'm the resident old bitch of YouTube. You don't want to play with me on stuff. Like, I will not be nice. I will not be a person being kind. I won't be like, I won't even be sharing this on being like, oh, this is what No, if I share that on Twitter, you best believe you are going to see a nasty response back. Me being like, bitch, I don't work for this company. You can't make me do with any of this stuff. You better get off my back and just unsubscribe. Don't come here talking to me like some kind of funny way. Don't do it. I am not in the mood. I'm not the person. I am not the one. I'm not the one to come out like that, because you can't act like that. And I feel like it's I'm not saying it doesn't happen to larger creators, but I feel like I keep seeing this with smaller creators repeatedly. Like, I think I remember even with Smoky Glow, people tried to reach out to her directly. Like, bro.
Yeah. And in my opinion, she wasn't even that small of a creator when that collab launched. So but she grew, like she had that core, like, small creator audience, but like over 500 people being pissed off and sad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I don't know that number for a fact, but here's the thing is that not only with these kind of collabs, but I think just in general, it is really frustrating because people go into this disgusting, yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
the one.
exactly. Like, and okay, here's so this kind of veers into this other territory where like I also see a lot of kind of like judgment being pushed on when smaller creators talk about how they're not able to make everyone happy and how
Yeah.
they've made a decision. And this is something that I've seen Betty Jean do, but I've seen multiple other creators that I watch do. So
Yeah.
like they'll make a decision or they'll be trying to decide if it's worth it to keep doing a certain style of video
Mm-hmm.
or to buy a certain release, even if though they might get it late or maybe they're not that into it. And they're trying to be open. They're trying to have like an open kind of space, an open forum to communicate with their audience, which I think is important and I respect it. But then they get it also in a lot of ways opens people up to push back on like, well, like why are you asking or why are you unhappy? That's like, why are you talking about how videos don't get views? Why, like, be happy with the views you get, or I watch them, so you should be happy that like, and it's just, it's an open forum. They are asking for your opinion, which is probably the first mistake.
Yeah.
Like you should probably just make the things you want to make and not pay as much attention to the comments. But when people take it as like, why did you change? How did you? And they get angry about it when the creator is there sitting there explaining to you. I don't make tutorials because they don't get views. But guess what I am doing? I'm doing Instagram TV, like videos. I'm still giving you that content. I'm not going to do 3 looks, 1 palette because they don't get the views. And it takes a lot of time to do these videos.
Yeah.
And people get so angry by that. And I'm like, they're trying to be honest. They're trying to share with you their creative decisions as a channel.
Mm-hmm.
And instead you're saying, well, fuck you. You should do all this work for free anyway, because I like it.
Yeah, and here's the take on this. I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a large amount of creators that will talk about like maybe like in a Get Ready With Me or something. Well, they'll talk about removing certain things from their channel, and people get upset about it, but they don't realize like I look at my analytics, right? I don't look at them in detail because if I did that, I swear to you, I would never make another video. But I will look at them, look at my top performing videos and all this kind of stuff and be like, okay. And, look at, sometimes I try to look at like the top 30, like about on the top 30 videos and see if I have like things in common and be like, okay, well, then I need to make more content that's geared this way because like that's telling me this is what people are watching. So when people are discussing that on their channel, a lot of it's like a soft way of starting to tell you like, I'm not going to be doing this thing anymore because even though some of you watch this, not enough of you do. And as Emily has said multiple times, if you are a content creator, you can't have up, up, up. Like you can have up, 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 a couple down, and then like up, 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 a couple down, but you cannot have like this happening on your videos. You can't drop one video and have 1,000 views. Then the next day you drop this other video and you only get 500 views. Then the day after that you drop 1,000 viewed video. Then the day after that you drop a 500. They're not going to push it because they're going to the way that YouTube is going to look at it is you are not a consistent creator that people want to consistently watch. So once you start seeing that and you go, okay, you have to start moving content around. Like I'm having to move my Tarot Tuesdays because as much as I enjoy doing it, I very much realize that like that's one of my lowest viewed videos. So I'm like, you know what? I have Patreon. That's where I'm going to put that kind of content. We'll do like more horror lives. We'll talk about stuff there. And then that way I don't have to stress. Hey, Kelsy. And then that way I don't have to stress and be like nervous or worry about like trying to get that video to get the views so that I can keep doing it rather than stress everybody out and tell all y'all like, oh, and this is why creators do that. That's why you see so many people talk about it. Angie Nyquist did that. I'm not going to try to say her name the right way because it's going to sound ridiculous. And I would rather say it terrible, like the American English way than try to say it her way and have her laughing all the way to the bank. So being like, oh my gosh.
Honestly, having other people laugh because I've heard her say it and I'm like, yes, I could say that, but I don't.
I can't make my mouth do that.
Well, and here's the thing though, is that I think other people also tend to make fun of Americans trying to say accents and things, and that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Make fun of all the Americans you want. But yeah. Anyway, you were saying though about Angie like making those changes.
Yeah, and the reason that that people do that is they're just softly trying to tell you like, I'm not making this content anymore because this is the problem. And if I keep making this content, it's going to weigh my channel down, which means I'm not going to have as much exposure to other people who might potentially be interested in my channel. It doesn't mean that I hate you. Like if I have, like right now I have like 7,000 subscribers. So if I'm doing a video and it's constantly, you know, especially in the first 12 hours of it being out is like doing half of what anything else. Doing half of what my other normal videos do in that same time frame, I have to reevaluate that situation and be like, okay, well, I can't do this here. And that's one of the great things about having a Patreon, which I know some people get upset about, but like, that's why, is so that you can do things that you enjoy doing that don't tear your channel down in any way, shape, or form, but you can keep having a good time doing it.
And, you know, I understand and like, I see people get upset about Patreon or about like paid exclusive content. I do understand that. And I've kind of grown to understand it more because I know that people like, there's a lot talking about gatekeeping in terms of like gatekeeping, basically poor people out of your content. Yeah. And that is completely like, I've been listening to that more in terms of just as a creator. But I think that at the same time, like you have to balance out what you can do right now. And maybe over time, as you make the investment into your channel to like do the things that you enjoy doing, but are also going to help your channel grow, then in 10,000 subscribers from now, you can be like, yep, we're dipping back into Terror Tuesday. like y'all have ridden with me through Patreon. I have teased it out here and there. I see I have an audience. I'm in a more stable channel position where I'm growing because of other content. So let's dip back in and see how it gets, like the reaction it gets. But as a smaller channel, I mean, I even say under 50K, 100K, you can't really mess around with that. Like you can't really play. And I think there's this frustration when looking at the audience with small beauty creators where I sometimes or often actually feel like they actually don't want their creators to grow that much.
Yes, that's the one.
They want to keep them in this space of like under 10K or under 20K, depending on where they're at now. Like, because that means that they are, one, it's a small audience. You feel more intimate in chats, in comment sections, all of that. But also it's like how they want to keep you humble. Multiple people in the chat have talked about how like people have this parasocial relationship and they kind of want to like they want these small creators to stay humble. And by stay humble, you're kind of saying, I don't really want you to be successful.
Fact. Because, you know, I have told you repeatedly, like my analogy is always this. It's like that person who's always like, oh, I knew this band before they sold out, right? I will tell you my random Maroon 5 story. Way back in the Napster days when you could illegally download music, I was illegally downloading
everything. Okay.
Like
Maroon 5 of all, but then again, Maroon 5 was different back then.
Well, and that was in addition to like Zebra Head and Offspring and all these other bands that so I heard Maroon 5 before the world heard Maroon 5. And that was before I even knew what Adam Levine looked like. I had no idea that he was like really hot when he was like back then. Now he just seems entitled and stuck up looking. Like he doesn't look hot because he's like, I feel like he's trying to be hot now. Anyway,
he's rich hot is what I say. Rich hot.
Yeah. So it's like,
doesn't really do anything for
any of that. Before everybody knew, I knew of them. And the first time I heard them on the radio, I was like, oh shit, that's that band I was listening to on Napster, right? I'm glad that they got successful, but there are so many people who will literally look at musicians, especially in rock and metal, and will literally be like, oh, before they sold out, before they went commercial, before they went mainstream, before they started making radio hits. And it's like, did you expect them to play in shitty fucking, like at colleges and shitty bars? Did you literally expect them to not be able to actually have their own homes, have food, like good food? Like all of the shit that they do is not cheap. All of their instruments aren't cheap. Like all of that shit costs money, but you just so that you could feel like they didn't sell out, want them to stay in this place. And it's the same thing with small beauty creators. It's like they want you to succeed, but they don't want you to succeed too much.
Yeah.
They don't want you to succeed too much because then you're not going to be like the same. I'm like, I'm the same person. Like I can't, if I'm the same person with money, I'm the same person with money. But like, what do you want us to do?
Well, and I think the reality is that I actually like disagree with that concept of being the same person. We change. Change is not a bad thing. As a human, if you tell me that who I was 5 years ago is exactly who I am now, I'm not really happy to hear that. Change is not easy. Not everybody deals with it well, and not everybody likes it. But change often comes because you're forced to, and it can make you better or it can make you worse. Now, for a lot of people, they see people getting worse in their opinion. But change doesn't have to mean that you're a worse person than who you were. I do think the illusion of like, they're my friend and I have a one-on-one relationship with them gets shattered as they grow because the comment section is different, because their Twitter, their Instagram is different. But the reality is that like people that really like a certain creator will often say, oh, I would love for you to be able to do that full time. I would love that for you. But I don't actually want you to get to a size. They're not saying this part. I don't want you to actually get to a size where you can financially do this full time. So what exactly do you want from me then? Like, you want me stuck in this little like trap of being like just for you.
Well, and that's the funny part about it is that's the reason. Yeah, that right there. And like that, like when you were saying like, God bless it. I was trying to like do 17 things at one time because my phone kept like popping, and I was like, how do I make it stop making noise?
I was like, somebody is turning your phone into fire, but it's not gonna. Yeah.
Anyway. Like you should change. Like we should all change. Like I'm glad, because listen, if I was the same person I was in my early like 20s, I would be a horrible bitch. Like, and not the funny kind of bitch, but like the mean, unnecessary bitch, because I lived in Los Angeles for a while and I got snooty. Like I was rude, I was nasty, I wouldn't date somebody because of their car. Like it was not okay. Like I'm glad I'm not that person anymore. I'm glad I grew up and changed and stopped being a materialistic meanie, and like not like it was mean and it was rude and it was unnecessary. So it's like the fact that people want you to stay in the same space is unrealistic. It's unrealistic because, first of all, like as told by Kenya has a really good video about this when she was talking about Emma Chamberlain and how like Emma Chamberlain spent all this time trying to pretend that she wasn't fucking rich. All right, she was like, she had to spend all this time doing all this stuff pretending she wasn't rich, and realistically speaking, it's fine if people aren't relatable to you in that way anymore. That's fine. But you have to understand that there's like only so much somebody can do to hide that their lives have changed financially for the better. Do you know what I mean? Like if I was suddenly able to do YouTube full time and get like all of my bills would be paid, I'd also be able to buy makeup when I wanted to buy makeup and all that kind of stuff. I would be able to do all of that. I can't guarantee that I'm going to stay in this apartment forever. Now, am I going to stay in this apartment complex? Probably, because I really like it here. But like, will I maybe move to the 4th floor and hire a dog walker? Yeah, that might happen. You know what I mean? Like these are things. So I think that because of that, it's also a reason why a lot of small creators are even afraid to say that they want to do YouTube full time.
Yeah.
Like they're afraid to even say it because it feels like if you say that out loud, that people are like, oh, well, everything you do from here on out is just you trying to get rich.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so Sharon was asking kind of like, what could we do to change it? I mean, here's the thing is that I think that I do it too, and I don't necessarily know how to change it, but I think having a perspective of like, I don't actually know this person. I don't know them. I don't know them 100%.
Yeah.
I have discovered some percentage of who they are. It might be 10%, it might be 90%. You don't fucking know though what percentage it is. So
Fact.
if they change, that could be 90% of them that you don't know. That's not actually changing. They've just shown a little bit more. So rather than saying, well, you're not the person that I thought you were, as a viewer, I would rather you step back and say, you know what? I'm learning more about who they are.
Yeah.
And I don't have to like that. I don't have to connect with that person. I can evolve and decide, you know what? I'm learning more about who they are. So instead of like watching every single video, no matter what, I'm going to be more specific about like, do I actually want to watch it? Am I actually drawn into it as a stranger?
Yeah.
But you don't have to also sit there and say, oh, this too.
And that's another reason they turn, Kelsy, because they think like, oh, they're so much more trustworthy because they're small. Like, listen, there are a lot of small creators. Like Hannah made a video about this a long time ago, like small creators that are problematic that no one talks about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like, just because people have a small channel, like that's why like people don't like to announce that they're getting PR or say anything about PR, is because it feels like if you say like at my channel size, if I tell people, oh, I'm getting PR, I feel automatically uncomfortable with the fact that I'm even getting PR. I'm automatically uncomfortable with the fact that I'm getting it. It's very uncomfortable to film. If some of y'all even saw Abby Williamson's latest video, she was having a hard time trying to like, and she's fantastic and fabulous, but she was having a hard time.
And she's at 55,000 subscribers, 55K.
Yeah.
Like,
and she's having a hard time being like, I have PR, this is PR, use my code, I guess. Like, yeah, let's do this thing. Like, because it's very awkward. And it also has that feeling, even at my small channel size with big, wonderful people, I get stressed about PR and it freaks me out. Like, I'm like, how am I supposed to talk about this without seeming like a salesperson, without seeming like an asshole? But I'd really like it if you use my codes or this because that helps me out. And then I can get more products from this brand and I can do like this. So it's like this delicate act that you're trying to hold. Meanwhile, some of the small creators that people think are so trustworthy have undisclosed sponsorships all throughout their video, and you have no fucking idea, down to what they're drinking, down to even like the thing that they're drinking out of. They're like, oh.
But also, it's not even the undisclosed sponsorships. Small channels can be like dishonest as hell, or they can be okay. So here's the thing: is that I think what has so if you're listening or if you're watching on replay or whatever, what Kelsy said was it's so insane. People think that smaller creators are more trustworthy for some reason. It's a whole situation that's out of control. Here's the thing: here's what happened: is back in the day, creators got big. And that's when Morphe hit them up for all these damn Morphe codes and undisclosed sponsorships or like undisclosed codes. So they think, that as soon as you get bigger, that's what you're doing. But, or they see channels get bigger and they see these people kind of lose their touch and lose their honesty or be a little bit softer, kinder around the edges when they're reviewing products, which is really just first impression videos. But that's a different video. That's a different conversation together. But the amount of times that like, as I've started to watch different smaller creators and then buy products that I wanted, but I was also influenced to buy, and kind of sort of as I play with these products, think like, I feel like these like, and it's not just one person. It's like, I feel like people kind of like skimmed over these issues, or they didn't talk about this specific performance or this specific thing. So small creators can be just as like deceptively dishonest as bigger creators.
Yes, and it can get weird.
Yeah.
Because like that's the other awkward part about PR as a small creator is you don't want to like shit on somebody if you don't like it, but also you don't want to seem like you're giving it a glowing review. And somebody was talking about Robert and James' podcast. They also talked about that as well. They talked about how hard it is to just even give a review. The bigger you get, it's hard to give a review. Jackie Ina's talked about that as well. Like it's so hard. Like if people want to hate something, the amount of people who wanted to hate like Fenty skincare, high, right? Anybody who liked it, they were like, you're lying. So it's just like, and people were saying that to small creators, being like, I used to trust you, but now that I know, like that, and you're like, wait, what? Like, because my opinion, like, I'm literally here to review stuff. I'm literally here to tell you what I think about a brand, and y'all just like, yes.
And smaller creators will do some weird shit to tiptoe around the bigger brands. And here's the other thing that I've never understood. I don't understand, particularly when we're talking about bigger creators. So Kelsy said exactly, to stay in good graces of brands. So as you get to a bigger size, like, and I'm talking like 500,000 plus, even 100K, you are probably making enough money on YouTube to buy whatever the fuck you want. So if you get taken off of a PR list because you said something that a brand didn't like, yes, that takes away some of your early access. But honestly, in the state of mail today, I feel like you're kind of playing with fire either way. So like, I don't feel like I heard that too.
Okay. I'm like,
this is part of your sitcom life. And yes, I can't take off my, yes, Alex, this is my garbage person hoodie. But yeah, I just think that that it's like, I don't understand that idea of like, well, I still want to stay soft with how I talk about things because I can't, get taken off a PR list. Honestly, if you're still getting them views, a brand would be really petty to take you off their list because you said, this eyeshadow isn't pigmented. Like, I'm reviewing a palette and like I say 2 of the shades aren't pigmented. Like, what?
Yeah, because you had Kelsey's. Oh, she's back. So here's the fun thing. Honest bitch is coming. We have completely different loves of makeup, right? Like all except for purple, but like, because that's the same. I still love that. I love that. But we have completely different styles of makeup. Fun fact, I will still watch Kelsey's videos because I want an honest review. That's why I watch. Because like most of the stuff, because here's the thing, I have a fantasy world where like some of the stuff that she talks about, I might one day be able to purchase, right? So I'm like, maybe one day I might be able to get, this thing. I go to Kelsey because I know she's going to be honest. Like I watch, if y'all haven't seen her review of Mario's makeup, his new makeup line, you need to watch that because she's dead ass honest and it never ends. And the great thing is you can even sometimes see it that she's like having a moment where she's trying to find a way to be polite but fair, but still say, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So I think that like, that's why I've been watching, because there's a lot of people who review a large amount of like luxury type makeup, and not saying I don't trust them, but when I'm looking specifically for a honest, to the point review of the products, it's Kelsey that I'm going to go see. Now, when I want to like lose my soul and buy all the makeups, it's going to be Kinky Sweat, Alicia. All right. When I want to lose my soul and let her just convince me to buy shit willy nilly.
In cyber mode.
Extra money, I'm like, all right, here we go. What did you say I should buy? Buying it. And I'm not saying Alicia doesn't do good reviews. I'm saying Kelsey's the person that I go to because I know that her review is going to, it's so weird. I don't know how to say this without sounding like an asshole, but I end up listening to the review and understanding, and I'm not there. I don't feel like I'm going to purchase or not purchase anything. It just becomes like my baseline of like, this is where I come to find out information and to see your beautiful face. And then after that, like I disseminate it out unless you both get the same PR, in which case, sorry, Kelsey, I have to wait until Emily's video comes up because I can't tell her anything that any of y'all have done. So.
But yeah, and like it's interesting, the PR thing. Okay, so this is slightly related, but get slightly related. So like my one company that's sending me PR currently is Kaleidos Makeup. I received the Fresh Fantasy collection. It came later, like because shipping stuff. But it's also, and I've also had like weird mental health couple of weeks. So like I filmed it. I filmed parts of it. I finally filmed everything. And it's been like on a back burner of editing because I'm going to give you guys a spoiler. Like some of the negative feedback that's been out there, I kind of agree with. And so for me, it's hard because I know I was honest when I was filming, but to then edit that and then post it and be like, okay, well, this is the reality of it. Like I'm kind of like putting on the back burner too, because it's not time sensitive anymore. It's like the biggest reviews are out there, but I'm also a little nervous because I'm like, I'm basically putting a PR relationship on the line. And it's not an easy thing to do. So like, I understand why people get kind of like softer on PR, but just assuming this also, like, it's that people that want your opinion to match theirs either way, and if it does, you're wrong and a liar. Makeup is so subjective. So anyone that's like, how dare you not like this thing, I really dislike that reaction. Oh,
and I'm glad you brought this up, because for those of you that didn't see that live, honestly, my blood was boiling. Because the fact that Alicia had to sit there and justify that she's literally like, in comparison to what she has purchased with her own coint.
This was the live where she was doing the most recent Pat McGrath, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She had a basket full of Pat that she had purchased with her own hard-earned doll hairs. And for people to come into her fucking comments and have the nerve to tell her that she's being dishonest and she's only liking it because she gets PR from Pat. Do y'all not realize she just got PR like this summer, hoes? Get out. Like, I am like, ooh, talk about it's making me mad, because it made me very upset to watch her on that live, because Alicia is such a kind soul.
I could see it. I could feel it. Yeah.
I could see that she was upset that she was having to explain this. And I could see that there was just like a pain behind it, where it's like, why would you think that I would suddenly become dishonest because I got like 2 palettes and like some mascara, y'all?
And this is the thing. So I agree with Mo. Like, even though Alicia is my makeup siren, I also feel like I just understand that she loves makeup. Like, she loves makeup, and so she tends to like gush about it. But I also think she's honest. But I do agree about like kind of a difference versus like Kelsey versus Alicia. Not that we have to choose. You don't have to watch everybody. But I also wanted to say that a lot of smaller creators, a lot of people that don't instantly become big creators, guess what? They are from marginalized groups. And guess who get a lot more shit than non-marginalized groups? Them. Like Kelsey and Alicia, Black women that get shit for buying and getting PR, like from brands. The whole Dolce & Gabbana makeup thing that happened with Alicia, I didn't even see it happen, but like she had to pull the video because her comments were flooded with comments about the history of the brand and things they've done. Now, I don't have it on top of my brain of like what D&G has done, but at the same time, you're not doing that with white creators.
Correct.
You're not. So I also think there's this weird thing about being hypercritical with these smaller creators because of who they are and what their background is and what their sexuality is, what their this is, what their that is. And people don't realize that they're doing that, or if they realize it, I think other audience members don't realize that that's what's happening sometimes.
And so this is another reason, like when people, to kind of segue into it, it's like when so many viewers turn on creators like that, you have situations like Kelsy was just talking about, the people who are like, I'm not buying shit anymore. You know, we're just going to shop my stash. We're going to keep going through all the things that I own. And then we'll also do get ready with me's where I'm like, hey, this is all the new makeup I have. Because they're just, it starts to get to where you're like, I'm going to be honest, you know, are there brands that have issues? Listen, short of like racism, homophobia, transphobia, like not LGBTQI plus friendly, I'm reaching a stage where I'm like, I just want to play with makeup. I don't want to go into the dark annals of every fucking brand and figure out all the things that they've done wrong so that I can come forward with all of, like, what kind of review would that be? Like, okay, so here I am. I have this BH Cosmetics thing, and let me go over all the history of every single fucking thing that they've ever done wrong, and me try to justify why I'm doing. I just want the makeups. I just wanted it, and like, I'm not going to have to justify why I bought X, Y, or Z. And it shouldn't be that way. We should not, like, for as many people to flood not even only small creators but large creators with Fenty Skin, with the Rare Beauty, people were flooding comments, yelling, getting like, and I say yelling because they're putting all caps.
This goes straight to what Alex said. I hate that people go so hard for so many of these brands as if the brand is paying their bills. Trust me, they don't need you defending their honor. And I don't understand why people think that small and mid-size and large creators, hey Gabby, need like that they need brands need people to attack those creators. They don't. It's just a video. It's makeup is important. Makeup has value. Makeup has meaning, but also it's just makeup. Like, it's just a brand.
It really, like, it's beautiful colored powder, as you say. Like, they're colored powders. Why are we losing our ever loving shit over it? Like, acting like somebody has legitimately done us wrong. We're like, yeah. Nobody wants, because why would I want to review anything? Like, so I didn't get Rare Beauty because as soon as I heard that it's mostly cream products, I was like, I'm out like a scout, because the things that people would really want to know about, like the foundation and all, like, and the blush, like I don't cream product. Listen, my oily visage says no. It says no. Whenever I try it, it goes, bitch, you thought. So, so I was like, no, I'm not going to try it. Everybody who did, though, my good goddess, it got bad. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, you were flooded with comments about like why you did or did not like it. And then like that's how that whole weird thing got started about it being for people with disabilities, when that wasn't even true. Like,
the whole Rare Beauty thing is an example of why the stan culture as a whole needs to fuck off and die, because that's what happened. It wasn't makeup people, it was Selena stans that were doing all of this. But I also wanted to say, in terms of what Kelsy was saying about turning away from reviews, the sad part of that, because the reality is that reviews and first impression videos get the fucking views if you can get them up early. And so it makes me really sad that creators, like Black creators and other creators, are getting turned away from doing reviews if they enjoy doing them because of the way the comments get. Because in some ways they're having to kind of injure their own chances for growth to just not deal with being harassed in the comments, which is a fair choice, because self-care, your mental health is most important. But at the same time, it's so fucked up that audiences have made it so that you have to make a decision to stifle your own growth just because you can't handle the racism and hatred in your own comment section.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I brought this up because, Jay, for those of y'all just listening, bigger creators that legit shouldn't get trust literally make hour-long videos on PR, and they are adored. Ridiculous that small creators get put on blast for one PR package. Yeah, and the thing that people really don't understand about PR for small creators is like that. First of all, I'm going to say it. I'm going to be honest. getting PR as a small creator starts to legitimize you to other brands that you should get on their PR list. And it's not about, and here's the thing that people don't understand. It's not about getting free stuff. That's not why small creators do enjoy getting PR. It's about being able to go, okay, well, since I'm getting in this in PR, you have varying factors. You're like, since I'm getting in this in PR, now I don't have to worry about sitting in this line online, trying to like wake up on time and buy this whole thing. I'm now going to redirect the funds that I was going to use for this. And when I thought I wasn't going to get this other thing that I wanted, I can now actually go buy this release that I really wanted. I wanted both of them, but I had to choose, and I did like rock, paper, scissors to decide which one I was going to get, or which one I figured out which one I wanted more. That's why it's so important, because we are spending our own money. We are out here going and buying our own shit. So if there's like 4 releases coming out at the same time, and then I get notified that I'm getting PR from one of them, and I had already planned to buy 2, then that means, okay, now it's down to 3, and I got to figure out which one of these that I want to buy. So it's like, it's not me sitting here being like, oh, I'm a greedy ass bitch. And like very few small creators are like, oh, I'm a greedy ass bitch, I want all the free stuff. Yes, you can allocate the time and funds to other things for your channel. So now, instead of me sitting there, let's say something launches on a Monday or a Sunday or a Saturday or Friday night, like whatever it is, instead of me having to get up early on Sunday, wait for this thing, I'm like, I'm going to get up at my regular time, I'm going to take Bo for a walk, and I'm going to film 2 videos today. So I have extra content. So I have Monday, Tuesday's video, and I also have Wednesday and Thursday. So it's like, that all of that plays into it. It's not just about being able to be a small creator and go, I'm getting free shit. So when people turn on you when you get PR, and you're just sitting there like, and I feel like that is also what causes some, not all, but that's what causes some of these smaller creators to not disclose some of the things they should, because they get scared of the backlash of having received PR. So they'll do get ready with me, but they won't necessarily tell you it was in PR. They're just like, this is the new such and such.
And that's technically illegal, because you're supposed to always disclose that something was gifted, that it's PR. And okay, gifts are my love language.
Thank you, me too. I love gifts.
Them. And I know that PR technically, like, it's not a gift, but still, in my gift-loving heart, it is. Like, even though there is pressure for me to do something with it, not that I'm getting paid to do anything, but like, once I have it, I'm like, okay, I want to make stuff with this. But yeah, that too, the money part of it, like being able to, okay, like you were saying, rather than buy 3 new releases, I'm getting 1 in PR. I'm just going to buy one of the other ones, and then I'm going to spend the other money on a new memory card, a mic cover, a different tripod. Like, that shit gets expensive. Sometimes it's just like, I need new brush cleaner. I need a new organizer for something. Yeah. Your eyes are gorgeous. I love how we switch places. Like, I was doing pastel and you were doing like vampy, and then you're like doing this like colorful, and I'm like vampy, black and red, and I
wanted to play with the dandelions, and I'm like, bitch, what?
I know, you're making me like a hard eye it. But yeah, like, I love gifts, and I love and the fact that PR, I truly do believe that PR legitimizes you to other brands, and it sucks that that's what it takes. But it's kind of like when you have a creator that you like that has a bigger, like even just a slightly bigger platform, start subscribing to you, or is chatting with you in the Twitter like @ or whatever. It's just like, oh, like, they see me. What?
Thank you. And that is the biggest thing. No. Because
men.
See, here's the thing about a lot of these other YouTube communities. They're male.
Yeah.
And it's not beauty, because even male beauty creators do get hate for PR. Beauty has there's a lot of issues with beauty where people are like, you didn't even do that. It's so stupid. Like, whoa. And you're like, well, I like makeup, so I don't know how me liking makeup is any different than you playing Call of Duty for 17 hours. Like there's literally no difference. Like this isn't a thing either of us need in our lives. Like and that's how I look at it. Like this isn't a thing either of us require. Like this isn't a need. I don't need this to survive. So thank you. The
Kelsy.
community centered around women. This is where we really start to see people's true colors come through. And all of a sudden, when you get PR, especially if you get like, so right now I'm getting a little bit of it. And I just received another email for skincare. I don't know why these fools are bothering me. I don't have time. I can't. They're like, do you want to try more skincare shit? I'm like, I really can't. I have too much. But
we talk in 2 months when I've like decluttered and gone through something.
Yeah, I'm like, that's going to be January of 2021. Thank you. But like, you get you start getting more and more offers coming through, so you have to look at them more carefully. But again, in community centered around women, you notice a stark difference in, at first you get PR and it was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. But then when you're regularly getting it, suddenly people are like, you've changed. And you're like,
yeah,
what?
Well, and it's tricky because sometimes you do see that, but I also think it's like, it's this weird thing of it's a capacity thing. So like I'm thinking about like the small to mid range, like let's say the 10K to 20K range, even 30K. If you, depending on how your channel is like set up and depending on who you are as a person, if you are starting to get that PR at that, let's say 15K size, you know, you might be getting stuff somewhat often. So now all of a sudden you're doing more first impression videos than you're doing reviews, because reviews more time and you're getting PR. So you feel like, you know what, I do want to get this up early, because that is one of the perks, one of the reasons why PR is important. So I do think that it can feel like this person's content is shifting, because it's going from, okay, I bought this palette, I'm going to use it 6 times, 7 times, whatever, and then I'll do a video, to, oh, I just got this palette, let me put it on my face and I'll film it. So I think it can be hard to manage going back through and like reviewing everything, but I think that there can be an actual shift in someone's content, and it's fair to like notice that, but just being like, I mean, you've changed, where you could say, hey, I'm looking for like reviews of some of the palettes you got. Like, would you think about doing a follow-up or talking about it in a favorites or whatever? But I also think some people don't watch other videos and they don't see the reviews in those capacities. They just see like, oh, all of a sudden it's all first impression videos. And sometimes that turns me off too. But then I realize like you have to, either I like to watch you or I don't, actually, is what it comes down to.
Well, I mean, and that is why I have the bops and flops format. I have it specifically because I want to make sure, like many of y'all don't know or don't notice, like if you don't go into my description box, you probably like, you won't notice or you won't know. But people who do go into my description box, one of the things I started doing, and I started this around like I started it this month. And what I started to realize is I said, you know what, I'm going to make sure that everything that I have is stuff I like, because when you start adding more stuff to your collection, there's stuff that you're not necessarily using as much. Do I still like it? So what I'm doing is like basically all week, I will wear the same foundation, the same concealer, the same blush, the same highlighter. The only thing I'm changing is my eyes and my lips. And I've done this on purpose because then I can come back and go, okay, it's been a few months since we've fussed with this. And when I do bops and flops, I'm able to say, hey, this is back. These are things that I enjoy. Guess what? Turns out I don't like this anymore. Because I feel like it's very important for me just generally, if I'm going to be bringing new shit into my collection, I can't keep bringing it in and not regularly removing stuff. Like I don't even want to always wait for a declutter. I want to be using this stuff because I feel like it's very easy for you to stack up on stuff and then be like, ah, shit, when's the last time I've used this one? And like a lot of people aren't beauty YouTubers, right? So a lot of y'all just enjoy makeup and enjoy beauty. So you could have had your eye on a foundation that you weren't going to purchase, or we were thinking about, and then a review shows up a little bit.
I do think I do think that Gabby's comment about jealousy is a huge part of
Yes.
this, because you start out watching these creators, you feel a connection. They're your friend. They're a small channel. They can actually reply to comments. I'm telling you, once you pass 1,000, just 1,000 subscribers, that shit completely changes. But that's a different topic. But yeah,
it's the hot toddy for me.
it is. Lori, that was something special right there. But yeah, but I just so there's that starts out that way, and they get their first PR, and you're like, yes, like so excited for you, so happy for you, and then all of a sudden they're showing like 15 pallets they got this month, and they're all or the 15 pallets they got this quarter, and they're all PR, and you're just like, I mean, you could stop like pushing that in my face, like that it's all PR. And it's like, you were happy for me like 6 months ago, and now I'm unrelatable because I'm telling you the truth that this is all, like, that this is PR.
Because like when Lauren May Beauty does her beauty roundups for like the end of the month, she literally goes through everything. See, you know what, Kelsey? Mine changes.
Yeah.
Mine does change, but I'm also an old bitch. So since I'm old, my opinion will change, especially on foundations and concealers.
Yeah.
My opinion will change on those because it's like my hormones may have been different at another time. And I was like, my hormones have changed and now I don't like this. And sometimes I just didn't get to use it as long as I wanted to. So and there's like powders and concealers and things where I'm like, I liked this before because I liked this kind of coverage. And that's really what I'm looking at, is like, I liked it before because I like this type of coverage, but now I don't like it because I don't like this type of coverage anymore. And I'm able to kind of go through and be like, this is why I no longer like it. I think if you like this because of blah, that's why. So and it helps me to kind of figure out like, what do I need to keep in here? And when I'm buying new products, I need to remember, like, you know what, I don't necessarily like a full coverage concealer, or I don't like this anymore. So let me not buy that next time around. It reminds me.
Kelsey had said, I've been, because of
Amber.
So long. Oh, bye, Amber. My opinion on a product isn't going to change from the first time I used to the 5th time. I realize that's not true for a lot of people's videos, though. Here's the thing, too, is that I think it's all about how you approach the like first impression review, because you're pretty comprehensive, and I feel that when you talk about it. But there are people that are doing first impressions from really teeny tiny channels to fucking huge channels where I'm like, you're not giving me enough information. That's what it usually is. You're not talking about texture. Like Kelsey just said, I can damn near look at the way something squirts out of the bottle and tell what it's going to be. Like, tell me texture. Tell me first impression when you put your finger into it or you put a brush into it. Like, don't just, I guess it's just approach. It's just creator style. Some creators, I realize now I'm watching a shit ton of reviews that are actually first impressions, but I'm okay with it because of how it's communicated. But there are other people where I'm like, like I might watch this first impression because I'm intrigued, but I also might not because I don't really love how they do it.
And also, like I find out that I change an application style and it changes my view on a product. Yeah. So like the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I changed my application style for some other bronzer I was using, and I was like, let me just use this other brush and do this. And then once I started doing that, I was like, oh, this is so much better now that I changed it, because I realized that the way that I like my bronzer is like, I like to look lightly sunburnt, and and I needed to and when I switched the brush, I realized I don't like using an angled brush to apply my bronzer. Yeah. And as soon as I figured that out, I was like, okay, well then I don't actually, with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, if I diffuse it, and if it's diffused and kind of moves around, it's not as flat on my face. So then I was like, oh, that's nice. And there was even a little bit of a reddish tinge to it that I didn't see before using the angle brush, because with an angle brush, I don't know if maybe I'm just not super smart, but with an angle brush, I don't go back and forth with this brush because now it's not creating the line I want, because this is how the angle is set up. So then if I do that, and what happened is I think I was using this and I was like, I used too much. And then I got my other brush and I was like, oh wait, let's just keep using this one. So I don't like the angle brush because I can't really diffuse it. And now I don't have like a harsh line there anymore, which I'm not a fan of.
And here's the thing too, is that like I don't have the chemist side of me, but I just think about like I know this with like certain shimmers, certain mattes, certain things. Like pearls and pigments can diffuse differently depending on how you touch your brush. So like if you kind of do round, like, so I think I've figured that out, especially with highlighters. Like certain different formulas need different application, because if you really buff it in, you might be like, oh my God, I'm spreading it too far. But that motion of the brush is like helping the pearl kind of change in ways. So I feel like that might be part of what happened maybe with your bronzer. But you were also talking about Lauren Mae Beauty's Roundup thing. Was there
Oh
something?
yeah, so with her PR, thank you.
Okay.
But one of the things she does is she actually goes through the cost of all of her PR.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that she has, and I don't like, she does it because she wants you to know that if she was buying that on her own, she wouldn't have been able to afford all of this makeup, and to assure viewers that like, you should not feel like you have to go out and buy all of this makeup. I received, $300 and some odd worth of PR this month. And then this is like, I purchased, $275 worth of stuff. So like altogether, I would not have been able to afford that, and like really just make it real. But like the fact that she has to go through and do all that, better than me.
Yeah. And I think people blame YouTubers when they buy a product they don't agree with. And that's why and it doesn't mean they're lying. That's why I like watching multiple people and
Thank
people
you.
that are different, that have different skin tone, skin type, different age range, because like I know from experience, something that my dear friend Lacey loves, I might put on and I'm like, no, this is not for me. And then something you might love, I might put on and be like, also not for me, or I like it, or I don't like it now, but I like it in 2 weeks. But like what Alicia or Kelsey or Annette or Betty Jean or like the tiniest, the Faye, Eeyore, like I think of like LGG, like smaller creators, like there could be a whole range of people all talking about the same product and having different experiences with it, because that's how makeup works. Makeup stock standard is always going to behave the same on everybody. It's actually the complete opposite of that.
Like here's the thing. I know that Giorgio Armani foundation is the tits. I know that already.
Yeah.
Because I got it from Influencer in 2016. Not like that exactly, but I know that their formula is amazing. All right. So when Kelsy did another review of like some other, I can't remember, because she was like, I have all these bottles of it. And I was like, oh snap. But I was happy to find out that the formula was still bomb, and I would spend money on that at some other time. And this is really important when you're watching small beauty community. Like, it's really important that you watch, like, one of the things I try to do is I watch people with different types of skin, not just my type of skin. I'm like, okay, who has oily skin? Because there are people, like, obviously I watch because they're my friends. But then when I'm also looking for reviews, I'm like, okay, I need to find somebody who has oily skin, because I know how it's going to work with my oily visage. I need to know how it works on dry skin, because I know a few people who have dry skin. I need to know how it's going to work on, normal skin, because fun fact, as a 40-year-old lady, all three of those conditions can exist on my face at the same time or different times.
And for a lot of people that can happen too. Like I know age is a factor. Age is obviously a factor. Age and hormones and all of that. But for a lot of people, it can. So if somebody that's oily is talking about, oh, this is good for me because it doesn't budge or whatever, I'm like, I'm probably not going to like that, because that's probably going to be a little too like matte dry down for me, especially these days. Like 5 years ago, different story. But yeah, it's just really interesting to hear different people talk about it. That doesn't mean I'm going to instantly buy something because of one review. And I do appreciate, Hannah Louise Poston has talked about, because she's gotten a lot of shit with the growth of her channel and her collection. And I appreciate the honesty about like, yeah, a lot of what I have, I wouldn't have had if not for PR. But also it still frustrates me at how much people have to like give reason for. Like, I know. Find a reason to explain why your collection is what it is.
Well, because it falls into like one of the things we talked about at the very early in this is that jealousy portion. It's supposed to help remove jealousy, that your makeup collection isn't as large as, like, you, the viewer, yours isn't as large. And the reason yours isn't as large is because you don't have PR. And then that's okay. And then once you hear the amount of it, you're like, I couldn't have afforded to buy all that makeup anyway. And then it's supposed to make you feel significantly better that you don't have this thing. And the thing is, nobody should have to make anyone feel better, right? Because in a parasocial relationship, I am responsible for how I feel about a creator that I once enjoyed but no longer enjoy. And I have to take charge of that. I have to go, I sit in jealousy. This is a thing that I learned a long time ago. You have to learn to sit in jealousy, whether it is people you don't know or your closest friends. And the reason you have to learn this and sit in it and go, I'm so jealous. And then you sit in it and you start asking yourself questions. Well, why am I jealous? Am I jealous because like they don't deserve it? Am I jealous because this? Am I jealous because I'm jealous because I don't have it? That's all. I'm just jealous because I don't have it. I'm glad my friend has this thing. Because I think people in general, like in even your IRL friendships, jealousy can get in the way if you don't sit in it. You have to take a seat, like wrap the jealousy around you, feel it envelop you, and discover why. And as soon as you get down to the nitty gritty of the why, which for most of us, it's because it's not happening to us, then you can accept it. You can still be jealous, but now you can congratulate the other person instead of being a bitter ass bitch over there on the side. So I'm a person who learned that there's some negative emotions that you have to take and you have to wrap them around you like a fucking cloak, because that's the only way you're going to deal with why you feel that way.
I literally went through that over the last couple of days. We just had a conversation, literally with my friendship with you, Audra. We had a conversation. It was part of the conversation that we had today earlier. I'm not going to reveal what it was, but there are things in the works that Audra is excited about, and I'm genuinely excited about them for her. But my brain is not in a place where I can also be. It's something I would like to do as well, but I'm not mentally there. I'm not. I'm overwhelmed by other things. And I'm not creatively there. And so there are times when she's talked about it and I'm like happy, but I'm also defending why I'm not doing that. And I'm like, Audra doesn't care. Like, why? Like, she understands, but I was saying it every single time. And then earlier today, I was like, yeah, I keep realizing I'm saying these things, and this is why. And I'm kind of annoyed at myself for constantly because I also felt myself not just letting myself be excited for you in that moment. So after that fact, I'd be like, no, that's so fucking cool. But I feel like I was faking my way through being excited in certain moments. And I'm like, that's not how I actually feel. I'm truly excited, but my jealousy is a cunt. It is a big part of who I am. And it is an asshole. It is a big weight in my mental space. I'm working on it, but also it's just what it is. And so I had been sitting in it for a little bit, and I was like, I need to say something. And then you happen to say something in the Marco Polo right before it. And I was like, good, this is my time to talk about it. But it's the reality. And I think that's the thing, is that with the small creators, when you think that you and this other person are the same in terms of their place in life, their love of makeup, and then all of a sudden that changes and you see them getting all these things that you want. Exactly. You can be a hater and a cheerleader at the same time. I can look at someone else's collection or get a sense of their numbers and be like, oh, their AdSense is probably bomb. Mm-hmm. I can have those thoughts because that's what my brain does, but also be like, I am so excited for that person. They work I don't even say they work their ass off, but they are doing the thing. They are getting the praise and attention that they deserve. And I want more for them, but I still want more for me too. I want more for me.
Yes. And that's the thing. You could have both of the things. You can be like, damn, because there's another creator that, had a collection come out, and the way in which there's nothing that makes you find out who hates you more than when something good happens to you and they are not happy at all. And it's like, and the thing was, it was just like, y'all really didn't have to do her like that. Like, y'all could have just said congratulations or whatever. Like, even it, you could have sent a text if you really couldn't, put your face to it. Got you. But like, that's another thing that sucks, is because in the small beauty community, if it can feel like sometimes if other creators don't support you the way that you support them, it can create this feeling of like you being like, okay, well, then I I don't know if I can keep supporting you, and I don't know if I can keep doing XYZ, because there's a point where you start looking and being like, okay. And so the problem is when that support stops, so too do their subscribers. So it's like if I stop supporting somebody who has a smaller channel than me because I get pissy about something, right? Nothing actually serious, just something small that irritates me and I get pissy about it. And I don't support them or whatever on something that they have going for them. Like, let's say a creator that might be smaller than me is getting, a collaboration, and I don't support them. The thing is, not only when I don't support them and say anything about it on my channel, I'm being shady. That's obvious to anybody watching, because they're like, I know that y'all were always tweeting and doing all this stuff, and now that this got weird and they came out with this thing and you haven't said anything, you didn't make a video, what the hell's going on? Yeah. And then on top of that, the people that I had, the wonderful subscribers that I have, a large amount of them can make whatever assumptions that they're going to make. But there's a good chunk of them that may stop following the other creator, or may not watch the other creators much. They may stay subscribed, but they may not watch them as much, which starts driving down their channel. And they're just like, wow, you couldn't just be supportive instead of just being jealous? Like, it's so much easier if you could just be supportive, but instead you got in your feelings. You're like, it's not happening to me. And then you just like said no to helping them out and being a true friend. And even people who aren't necessarily your friends, but creators you admire, like, keep supporting them. Like, why wouldn't you be happy for someone?
Yeah. And I think there's like this weird area too of also when people think that you're super friendly with somebody, so you should, or you would automatically be super into something, and you're like, but I'm actually, I'm not. Like, it doesn't click with me. And so sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's like, okay, like if we're doing a new makeup release video, fucking talk about it. Like if I'm doing, a lot of times when I do my new makeup nonsense bingo, those kind of things are mixed in, but it's not going to guarantee that I'm going to get them. But yeah, I do think it's tricky how like also there can be the like kind of gossipy underlayer to it too with creators, and how audience can like start like kind of spreading this narrative that's not true.
Yes.
And make it seem like, oh wait, does like this person not like that person because like they didn't mention this, and then they did, or like, oh, like they did a negative review and somebody that's friends with them did like a positive review on this thing. Like I wonder like if there's tension about that, or like all these different things where I'm like I literally just did a video titled Dear Colored Rain, It's Not Me, It's You. And then I watched Behind the Beauty yesterday with Rain and was like, it like felt like it was insightful and interesting. And like, I didn't 100% agree with everything that was talked about, not from Behind the Beauty, but perspectives. But that doesn't mean that like I didn't enjoy it and get something out of it. Like you, and I feel like that happens on a smaller level with just like creators and people like creating these narratives that are not true. And then all of a sudden somebody says like, oh, I didn't know you didn't like so-and-so. And you're like, where the fuck did you hear that? Like, what are you talking about? This is not high school. And anybody that actually gets high school, whether you're a creator or a watcher, you don't need to be in my life. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's because here's the thing. I will tell people, especially like, and I say this in a very specific way, if one of my friends has something coming out but they did not add me to the PR list, but I don't have the money. I'm going to have to say, I don't have the money to pick up your shit. Like, I'm so sorry. Congratulations. I don't have the cash. Like even right now, if Kelsey Brianna had like a brush set that she was popping off right now, I wouldn't buy it. Not because I don't like her, but because like I have a shit ton of brushes right now. And I can't introduce any more into my brush family because like I have so many. And like Jen even sent me a set, which I'm really excited to play with. But like now I'm like I'm set up. So I'm like I can't.
Even the other last week, speaking of Behind the Beauty, they had a bundle with Sydney Grace. I don't want the neutrals. Like, I love y'all ladies.
Yes.
I didn't want the neutral single shadows or the cream shadows, so I didn't buy it. But guess what? I was still in the video commenting, liking, sharing with other people. Like, that's the other thing, is that people also think that you have to buy a collaboration to support them. Even as like a small creator. No, you don't. You can retweet their tweet. You can share it on Instagram. You can mention it in a video if you do content. You can, share it with friends who might be into that kind of thing. Like if I knew somebody that was looking into getting into singles, was more of a neutral kind of person, I would be like, you know what, this little bundle is not overwhelming. I generally know the formula of the brand, and I think it's a good formula. So this would be a good place to start. But like that's the other things. I think people think that you have to do all of these specific things to support, particularly smaller creators. But for a lot of smaller creators, you sharing their videos, you liking them, you leaving comments, you mentioning it on Twitter or Instagram are huge. Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. That's okay. Exactly. You can support in so many more ways financially. And I think people underestimate, especially for smaller creators, how important that is.
Yes. Like sorry, I had to start eating the salad before it got dry. But you liking and sharing my videos and commenting on them, like that means more than anything in the world. Like because it gets traction on it. So it's like when you see somebody's look and on Instagram and you repost it, like that's helpful because it's like the brand becomes aware that somebody's being reposted and they're like, oh, what's happening here? And when people have hashtags or whatever, like all of you're doing all this wonderful work to help us be visible in a way that we weren't before.
And I feel like also, I don't know, maybe, and I can't think of a specific example right now, but I feel like there have been instances where smaller creators have gotten collaborations, and it's something that some of their audience is not that excited by. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's like a weird feeling of just like, oh, but like, why would they put out that? Like, oh, they sold out. Why would you do this? Like, and like I said, off top of my head, I can't specifically think of examples, but I know that feeling of like, oh, it's that? You decided to do that, but you're so much better than that. And now all of a sudden you're not a fan of somebody because you don't like their collaboration, when all you have to do is not buy it. And if you don't want to share it because you're not a fan of it, don't share it. But you don't have to like change and turn on somebody.
I know.
Because, you don't like that they did with Behind the Beauty, I wasn't vibing with the singles bundle. I'm over here making fun of somebody that would turn on you if you were like, how dare you? Victory.
First of all, it's a pterodactyl screech.
Yes.
So.
Okay. You weren't there on Tuesday. Audra's channel, Tuesdays Live. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know she should. Okay, I need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people tell you about their affiliate links. It's not just disclosing like it's an affiliate link. It's also like that's where the bulk of most people's money is going to come from, is you shopping through their links.
Yeah.
Because that's direct, and it comes like the more people that click it, and then there's so many different metrics that are attached to it, because I do have some of them, and I can actually see, like, this is the first time I've ever had affiliate links, but I can actually see the metrics showing like if people clicked, what converted into sales, my rate of converting stuff into sales. So
well, and that's why, just like how PR kind of legitimizes you, I personally also think that I know they're just corporations, but that getting qualified for magic links or R style reward style also legitimizes you. And I understand why people, even like having just basic, here's my Sephora link, here's my Ulta link, here's my like I think of somebody like Kelsy who does luxury, so maybe they shop at Bloomingdale's or Nordstrom or this or that, and they have all of those basic links, because guess what, if you just want to go shop, just click through their link. Like, it doesn't have to be a specific product they're talking about. It can just be. And this, affiliate links can also lead to sponsorships from brands. They can lead to more relationships. So, like, that is one of the things that I am hopeful for, that I'm hopeful I can get to a point where I can get affiliate links, because it's more work, but I also understand that, like, that's another revenue stream. And again, it's more metrics. It's more metrics for me as a creator to know, because here's the other thing is that some of these things we're using. So like, I know for me, if I'm using them and I post one video and it gets a lot of views, but like nobody's actually really interested in the product, or they're not clicking through, or I post a different video and it doesn't get as many views, but a lot of people have clicked through to the product, like that's an interesting metric for me to compare, because I'm like, okay, so like, what is a better, like, what was the better return on investment for me to make that video? And that's not how I run my channel, but it's an important thing to keep in mind as, and Kelsy, I see you. Thank you. I'll do that. Just going to say that, like, thank you. I will do that. Because I've tried and not there yet, but yeah, I just think that it's so important to understand that when creators are putting more things in place, like affiliate links, like being able to get a code from Midas, or Drench approving me for my first ever affiliate.
That was so awesome.
Like,
I felt like such a bad bitch. I was like, look at me with a fucking affiliate
I was like,
code.
Audra, go get your fucking affiliate code. Like, do it. Even, I know Guest Style is a big company, but I appreciate them because they made it really easy to get an affiliate, like to get a code and a link with them. And I like getting skincare. I like getting Korean skincare, buying it from them. So, like, I think people need to understand that these steps are not creators just changing and forcing themselves to like become a normie. I think, okay, that's the other thing. So a lot of smaller creators, a lot of beauty creators are not the normie type. They are edgy, or they're gothy, or they're witchy, or they're silly, or they're like whatever. And I think that's the other thing, is that as creators grow, their viewers kind of assume that certain growth is going to equal like diluting who they are and diluting like their personality and all that. And that happens. I've seen that happen where creators, as they get larger, they show less and less of their quirkiness. But a lot of them are not doing that. A lot of them are still being themselves. And they just happen to be themselves with more makeup and more connections.
I was not kidding. If I have that kind of money, you're going to unleash the full goth bitch in this motherfucker. And it's just going to get darker. Like, I'm going to be coming to y'all with like veils. Like, the production value is going to get high. Like, it's going to be a goth woman's dream. Like, share, and comment.
Exactly.
Like, that's the single, triple threat.
Yeah. Yeah, like, definitely. Like, that's the thing, is that you don't have to buy anything, or just watch the video, like get the view. Okay, that's the other thing, is that I've heard with YouTube that you have to have your volume. Like, you can't just like mute watch a video. This is what I've heard, to get view count. But like, share, and comment are like the basic. If you don't even have to watch the video. You can just like, share, and comment and move it on. So like, yeah, I think that it's interesting. Oh, this is another good one. So if you are shopping from certain brands and you know that you were here because of Audra, or because of Lacey, or because of whoever, if there's a space on the order to leave a note, that is a huge thing. In the notes, say, Spooky Lips and Fat Hips sent me.
Did you see what Meg said? I'm sorry, my hands are covered in food. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm totally normie.
Yolanda tutorial in the Bentley, Audra. I will get a fucking private jet and we'll do I'll like fly to you and we like do tutorial. Like what?
Yeah, because I'm like I had to be nice about how I tweeted because I was like, it's over for y'all, but really I was gonna say it's over for you hoes because I will be stepping out of my house every day, full goth regalia, long Victorian black skirt with a red corset top, gloves, the nails, all the rings, all the jewelry, veil. People will be like, is she going to a funeral? I might.
I mean, even more obnoxious version of myself once I get some money behind my name. And
Thank you.
might feel like a negative change for people because they're like,
I know.
I didn't realize that you were so weird. And I'm like, well, welcome to the weird or get the fuck out. I got money now. I don't care. I mean, I didn't care before. I'll tell you to get the fuck out anyway. But but yeah, it's just I think it's just interesting how I do think that some people feel like, okay, once you start getting this mainstream appeal, that you're going to lose your edge. I think it's kind of like the music comparison that we started with, where it's just like, okay, well, like now that all the Karens and the Beckys like you, like, I don't want my audience to be that either. But if it is, that happens. But it's just like, that doesn't mean I'm a worse person. Like, I do think now, because it's being mentioned in the chat, I feel like I do personally think that RBK kind of shifted how much of herself she was showing in videos.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, that's what I thought about it, because it was said a couple times in the chat. Like, I did see that as a viewer, as somebody that was watching her a lot. I saw that shift. I felt it. And I'm not deep in the comments. In that kind of channel size, I am not in the comments. I'm not getting like affected by other people. I just saw it and I was like, well, I think it's time for me to go.
Tia, yes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, I mean, I think once you hit, so if you're not monetized, then here's the thing is watch time is important, but if you are already monetized and you're just thinking how to help this person's audience grow, like, share, and comment is how it is, because that's how YouTube knows to keep pushing your video. So you commenting, especially early on when the video goes live, like in the first 24 hours, but I think even after the fact, but you commenting, that engagement tells YouTube, oh, this is getting reaction. We want to get other people to see it. Same with liking it or disliking it. Engagement is engagement. And sharing it means you're getting more eyes on the video. YouTube is seeing that people are sharing it. So those are all signs to YouTube that you as a creator, that this person is a creator worth sharing. And what we really want, no matter how like not normie we are, I want the algorithm to like me. That's
me too. Like me algorithm.
We want the algorithm to like us, because when it doesn't, you are pretty much fucked over. Like, and that's one of the bigger issues from what I've seen, especially smaller, but even the larger Black beauty creators, is that the algorithm is like, fuck you. We're not going to show your video. Yes, you got that PR first, but you're still going to be at the bottom of the search engine. Like, it's that kind of stuff and I don't know how to change that. But if you're liking, sharing, and commenting on those creators' videos, that at least helps fight against that in some way. So,
like, even if I've been like shoving food in my face like voraciously because I didn't realize how hungry I was.
I know. I was like, I might have to order dinner because I wasn't hungry before we started, and I ran out of time, and now I'm
also, Sharon, that's an answer to you. Order your food.
Yeah, order your food.
But oh my God, Bo, did y'all hear him?
Yes.
Did you hear that whole fart? Like, listen, I am not ashamed to admit that I fart, but I don't fart when I'm eating because that's not okay with me. I can't. But anyway, yeah, that's why it's so important to comment. So like, even on my friends' videos, right? If I'm there early, a lot of times I'll wait like 30 to 45 minutes before I comment. And the only reason I do that is because I don't want to I don't want the algorithm feeling like the same person always shows up at the beginning and then therefore it doesn't count my comment.
Oh, interesting.
Listen, algorithms are weird.
Yeah.
So because I don't want to get seen as a potential bot or anything like that, so I'm really careful about it. And then what I'll do is I'll wait like 30 minutes. I'll go and I'll see like, okay, depending on how many comments, like on your videos, Emily, depending on how many comments you have, depends on whether or not I comment immediately or I like wait for a second. Each time though, you're getting more views.
Yeah, exactly. Humans, asshole, racist humans. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to read the comment, but that's what that's responding to.
Well, Tia. Like both farted. I've been waiting. Listen, I don't want to be famous though, because like I'm too awkward for fame.
The other thing I've heard about commenting is just leaving, like, in terms of engagement, is that I've heard you have to like leave some words, not just like a couple of emojis. Like I've heard like at least 5 characters or something, but I'm not like, I haven't double checked that. But yeah, so there's a lot of little things that you can do, and yeah, that's really it. There's a lot that you can do to help.
I don't know how I can give you this when you just farted though, like because I already gave you some salmon with caper dip, and look at you, you're gassy. So sorry.
This is interesting. Hey Bay says I had someone comment on my video for the first time this week and got the most views faster than any other the upload so far. Yep. It helps. It really does. I like that. This is intriguing.
No, because that's why like I'll stay up for a little bit when my video first like goes live. Honestly, if in 30 minutes there aren't comments, I'm like, I'm going to sleep. Like I get depressed and I'm like, I'm going to sleep. I really do. I'm like, I'm going to sleep. I don't want to stress about it anymore.
Yeah.
So I go out and I start doing all these other things and I don't pay attention to it. But the thing is, in that 30 minutes, will be like 72 views in 30 minutes. And I'm like, nobody said shit. I'm like, they must hate it. So I just go, okay, well, I'm going to leave. Like,
I like that. The more you know moment. I like this. Use this comment. Here's a comment to appease the YouTube algorithm. Although I wonder if they would notice or no. I don't know. I think this is an interesting comment. So Bethany said, I like what Jessica Broad did, moving her baby stuff to her vlog channel and keeping beauty just beauty. I think for small creators, it's interesting how, like, I personally think that this is only a successful move if you have a really big channel, because you can only really start another channel and be successful with that if you already have a really big base audience. Yep. But I think this is a good example of, like, I really like creators that show themselves on their channel a bit more. So they're beauty, but you're well aware that it's Audra, that it's Lacey, that it's, all these different creators. Like, it's them. So if they show other sides of themselves, you're not just like, but I thought you were like a makeup robot. Like, because the concept of splitting yourself up into multiple channels is a way to fail as a small creator, in my opinion. So I just think that there's this weird space, I think, for smaller creators where they want to start branching out, but then they'll get negative.
Please stop. I'm so sorry. I can't. Here's the problem with a dog farting audible farts. It ruins your life.
That's why he would get no food. There would be no food tonight.
Like, it sounds like a grown ass person is next to me blowing ass, and it's just my dog.
Yeah.
So sorry. I apologize.
No, it's okay. But I do think it's interesting, like, thinking about creators as they grow, where they want to show more sides of themselves, and then that gets into like, oh, I don't like you anymore because you're not just beauty. It's like, but my guy, this is like how I have to do it. I can't just create a different channel to show that. Like, it's not a successful investment generally. If you're already a small channel and you're not doing it full time, and I like what Deja said, algorithms can be tricky and they're meant to keep everyone on their edge, basically. So constantly tweaking here and there so no one gets comfortable. Exactly. There's a reason the SEO guy at my job does it full time. Like, it's just, that's why I wouldn't even want to use a phrase like, this is for the YouTube algorithm, because they see YouTube and they see algorithm and they're gonna start noticing that if they don't already.
Ooh, and I do Ron, really? Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I agree with, but I don't watch anymore. So, you know.
Here's my thing. I think that you can have your beauty channel have a lot of things on it, but this is my personal opinion.
And I'm going to agree with this because I know what you're about to say.
When it's family stuff, I think that you have to have a different channel for family stuff because, one, not everybody into makeup has or wants or cares about a family, or a lot of people who are into makeup don't want to be inundated with your family. They just want to see the makeup and they like your personality. They like it when you do this. They like it when you do that. But like, they also don't want, like, I don't like children in my content.
Same.
Or my content. I don't enjoy that. Whether they're here or not, I don't enjoy it. It's not anybody's fault that I don't like it. Like, I just don't watch it. But like, I think that family stuff should generally become another channel. That's just me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that. I don't love that. And I personally, but this also is my, like, the kind of person I am. I don't really want to see wedding related stuff. But again, I'm a person who does not have any plans on getting married, being with somebody forever, having kids. Like, but I think that there should be a separation. I also feel this leads to a different conversation, though, about the idea of putting kids on the internet without any consent. So I would rather it just be separate so I can opt out. So you can clearly know I don't want to see that. Yeah. So.
Like, I'm just not a fan of it. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Wedding stuff I can take if you're like doing a video and like showing pictures, like Angie did that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's different, but I think for a lot of people, they're planning their wedding and then they document that whole process. And the reality is, like, I'm just not going to watch that. Like, I'm not.
Let me be clear. I didn't care about planning weddings when I was planning my own wedding. So
fair.
That is not that is not me being mean to anybody. I hated doing it for me. I'm definitely not gonna watch it for anybody.
Yeah. Well, and this is Tia, this is like the core. Creators are people too, and they tend to be multifaceted, which is why I think as small creators, it's so important to show yourself on your channel. You don't have to do non-beauty content. You can do all beauty content, but like, y'all see how weird I am. You see me. Like, you get, like, I think you get it. So if I go off on a rant about being fat and body liberation and all of that, like, that might not be every video, but you might get it every once in a while. But I've said things. I've sprinkled it in here and there. Like, but if you're all of a sudden, if you were beauty all the time, and now you're talking skincare or you're talking wedding planning or I want to see your full personality and little glimpses of family or weddings or whatever, but not video after video on it. It needs to be sprinkled in at most. Yeah. Deja, I only watch wedding relationship stuff when I feel like spiraling in a self-loathing hole.
That's why I choked.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that was what it was. Yeah. I mean, the weird is like what I love in watching other people too. So whenever I see people kind of start to pigeonhole, and that can be a thing that for me, like if I see people start to do things even beauty related that are a little bit more mainstream, where I feel like they're tweaking their style to become more popular, for me, that might turn me off. Does that mean I'm going to leave a comment that's like nasty and bashing and terrible? No, but I'm probably going to stop watching.
Okay. So sorry. Here, bro, just have the rest of that and just get off my back. Um, well, if I'm gonna yell, but yeah, I mean, here's the thing with my channel. I have a lot of little different things. I honestly, I feel weird that I'm gonna have to. I've never had to decline or say like no, but now I have to decline this thing because I'm like, yo, I can't. I don't have time. I haven't even tried my bougie skincare yet, y'all. I'm still messing with my Salvana stuff. I have stuff that I just got from Yes Style, and I have my bougie. So like, but I like to have different parts and pieces of me. That's why I do my get ready with me. I'm so sorry I'm eating like a monster, but like I didn't realize I was this hungry, okay?
And now I'm the one that's going to be quiet because I'm ordering food. So now it's your turn to talk.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. So here's what happened, y'all. I made eggs at like 9 a.m. Today was a day where I accomplished some goals that I did not plan on accomplishing. Like I did laundry. And by do laundry, I mean I took stuff out of the dryer and I put it away. I'll let you have a moment with that. Took it out of the dryer, put it away. Okay.
Wait, I don't know what that was.
Then I put new laundry in the washer. Thank you. And that's what weirds me out. Mo, the amount of people who will like be like, oh, I want a video with Bo. I'm like, first of all, no, he doesn't like that. Like he's not a fan. Yes, the teens, I did fold it. Actually, I don't fold laundry for the most part. Like I put everything up on hangers, which is why it takes me so long to do laundry because if I run out of hangers, I can't put anything else up. Kelsey's like telling me I killed it today.
You did. I'm like, I napped. Yeah, I napped.
It's because so I think I'm getting sleep right now because I started showering in the morning. And now that it's not like 1,000 degrees outside, it works. I think that's part of the problem. I will be right back. Let me put this up here. We'll still talk because I just need to put this up where Bo can't steal it from me because he's a thief and he does not care about stealing my food from me, even though he knows.
Thief is a kind way to describe
I'm going to be very angry about the situation.
Like
he knows.
Thief is a very kind way to describe that. I mean, I would say he's an animal about it, but he's literally an animal. So
he literally is an animal.
Yeah. Also, Kelsey, this is a mood. All of my laundry is clean and sitting in the laundry room. It's been there for a month. Like, I'm not talking about doing laundry because,
I feel like I'm not dealing with that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Sharon, that is a huge accomplishment. I took a shower and did a few dishes. There are my accomplishments. That is accomplishments. Yes. I put on some new nails and I did like a tiny bit of work and I took a nap so I'm not dead during this live stream.
BT Dubs, how are you liking the longer ones? How are you handling up on?
Still getting used to them. Still getting used to them. I don't know if I have quite the Audra level dexterity, but I think it's just like finger shape too. Because like the things you've talked about where I'm like, I don't know if I see that as much, but I like how they look, so I'm kind of fine with it.
I become so weirdly dexterous. And listen, mind y'all, I have to pick up Bo's poop. I have figured out like a very good technique to do it. And I'm like, oh, not with my bare hand, by the way, there's bags. Just I'm sure nobody thought I was barehandedly picking up the sheet, but just in case someone on the replay thinks that I am like barehanded picking up his turds. Yes, they are.
Audra has Etsy nails on. I have Kiss brand Halloween nails. The Kiss Halloween nails are really good this year. These ones are called Dark Pumpkin, I think. I think they also have the same shape and length in black, but they're called Dark Pumpkin. So they have like a fade from like red to black. But I have some, I'll show you. I have some Etsy nails, Pie House nails, which Audra has ordered from, which is why I got them. But I have some longer sets that I want to put on, but I also wanted to kind of practice with some other long nails before I put on my fancy ones. So
I'm so excited. I am so excited. Listen, y'all. Here's a like.
that's major
Listen,
heavy.
yes, that is major. Like, listen, when I realized that I could just like slide into like all of my, like when I was like, oh, I don't do this anymore, so now I can have freaky long nail, and I'm like, oh, bitch, I don't care that I have to type like this. I don't even care. Tick, 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 tick. I don't even care. It's
I worked at a bakery for years. I wasn't making things, but I was dealing with food enough that like having nails was not going to be a thing, and like lifting boxes and doing that. So yeah, I don't have the patience to like do like acrylic. These are glue on. They're faster than nail polish. They're faster than everything. Like they are easy peasy.
Yeah,
I like how everyone's sharing, like, share your accomplishments and remember that like anything is an accomplishment. That's what it is.
Yes, literally. Like I will give myself props for like sometimes I'll be like, I drank this much water today, bitches. What? And I'll be happy about it. Like I'll be like, that's what I accomplished. I need to stop being harsh on myself because like productivity is a lie. Like Emily always tells me, productivity is a lie.
Deja, I finally went to the mechanic and now have a new random man to fantasize about in the Wattpad story in my head.
Thank you, Ryan.
Your video on work in the context of who we are. I felt that video and still remember it. Yet many I watch and enjoy don't recall as much. Your take on society pulls me in. I agree. I completely agree. And this is also what gets me tricky about the concept of doing YouTube full time. Because that's another situation where your work is your life is your work. Just gonna say.
Yes, but I would be working for myself.
But it's still your life and your work all together. Just saying.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, Olivia, my JD Glow order came today and I can't wait to create eyeshadow. Look at that. That's okay. She had such good constraints. She bought 4.
We have a bad school day, a good mom day, and French fries for dinner. Fuck yeah. Launching your company's first major social media campaign.
That's major. Yes, fries for, I'm about to have fries for dinner. I just ordered food. Productivity is a lie. Also, Bethany, I hope that, where was it? I hope your daughter is okay. She took her daughter to the ER and sat for 7 hours.
Oh my God.
That is a lot of adulting. That is more adulting than I wanted to deal with.
Yeah, I don't dream of working.
That.
I don't dream of working. Oh, shit. Okay.
That is the answer that I have to remember all the time. I don't dream of working.
Yeah, I don't ever dream of working.
I don't.
There's many dreams I have, but none of them involve me working.
If I could do full-time YouTube and make money, that would be my ideal job, is what I will say. Right now, I think. But I'm not even sure if I believe that.
Well, Sophie, you got up, you woke up.
Yes.
So like you accomplished that. You're here.
And you've been actively communicating in the chat. Exactly. You've been a part of the chat. Oh, Bethany, congrats. I'm such an asshole. I'm like, congratulations. I just don't ever want to be pregnant. So
me neither.
I had a moment. My brain couldn't connect with my mouth.
Like, oh, that like emoji, like, oof, that's how I would feel. So like, you're pregnant. I'd be like, that's unfortunate. But like,
my congratulations is a question mark. I'm just like, yes, so you're Ryan, magic.
I will tell you, I'm very careful because as a small creator, it can either do really well for me and have a lot of people like want to come and hang out and subscribe, or it can bring the hate. And it's not that I'm like some weak ass little bitch. The problem is that I'm not a weak ass little bitch. So. But I have some things on the horizon that I have plans to talk about that I'm storyboarding because I'm trying to pay attention I'm trying to like pay attention. She's having a baby. She's having a baby, but she didn't know. Didn't know.
If other people are excited to be pregnant, I'm excited for them.
I am
I'm
excited
just
that
not.
it's her baby and not
Yeah.
my baby.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
excited for the parasite growing within her and hope that it does well. We're going to put many blessings upon her parasite.
There are so many things I could say about this. I don't know if I should.
Oof. You said now you want to stab yourself. Oof.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to tell you how to live or anything, but like,
You shouldn't
that
do
is-
anything that makes you want to stab yourself.
mm. Here's what I'm going to tell you. As a woman who did not want to have children, and my ex-husband was very, like, he was wanting to have children, and I really didn't want to have children. I never foresaw myself having children. That wasn't a thing. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just glad he's my ex-husband. But you have to be honest about the fact that you don't want to have kids. Because if you don't want kids and you have them, it's going to be a miserable ass experience for you.
You're welcome. I screamed, "Don't do it, Gemini," in front of my daughter. But Gray Ace said it really well. If you truly don't want kids, do not have them to appease someone else. You'll be miserable, and it's not worth your mental and emotional health. It's also not worth the mental and emotional health of the person that you would be birthing into the world. Because that can happen.
So Gemini, is he willing to pay for somebody else to carry your brood? Because that's a very real thing for several women. Don't want to carry them.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that either. Like, that was another thing, was I was like, I would maybe have a child if I didn't have to like put it in my body, because like it just, the whole thing grosses me out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It grosses me out.
To a baby store.
It really just, it freaks me out.
Yeah.
And I've had multiple people be like, feel the baby move. No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm sorry about that weird, like, vomity sound. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it move. I don't want to touch it. It ekes me the fuck out to like the highest of high degrees. And that is not going to change. So it's like, if I don't like doing this with other people, I'm definitely sure I don't want it happening to me. To like, someone has my hand on their belly being like, look, this is them kicking. And I'm like, no. So like, I don't feel, and I never felt, I was like, this isn't a good plan for me.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of options out there. Also, good night, Kelsy. Thank you for hanging out with us and putting in some great insight, as everyone here does. But thank you. But yeah, I would. There are options, and carrying doesn't have to be the option for you. So, yeah, surrogacy. I would also. I know adoption also gets really expensive, but I don't know how expensive surrogacy is either. So,
both are very, very expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Both things, actually, honestly, the cost of both of them is probably quite close.
Yeah. So, but Naomi, I was right there when I heard people's pregnancies. I tried not to do the initial gut reaction face drop. I'm sorry.
Like, I know. Same. I'm like, oh. They're like, what?
I feel this, Alex. I'm so glad I can't accidentally get pregnant. My body would hate me. I was made to be the cool aunt.
Yes, thank you. I was made to be the creepy aunt that freaks out my little, like, because I'm doing it now. I freak out my little cousins. I'm like,
why does anybody think that they are owed to feel your? Sorry, no.
No, I just got like the shivers, like, whoa, because I don't like it when people touch me.
Yeah, I think I've told this story on this on my channel, but I've had somebody, a strange man, assume that I was pregnant and touch my belly, and the combined desire to throw up and chop someone's arm off is strong.
Oh my God, I would have bit off his fingers, but that's because I'm a monster.
Yeah. When you're fat, sometimes that happens. I mean, it happens
really sharp teeth.
Fat, but yeah.
Like, I have a really powerful jaws and unusually sharp teeth. All of this is actually due to anxiety. So, like, thank you, anxiety, for my freaky sharp jaws, because I can snatch a finger in one bite. Don't ask how I know that.
I love this reaction. Ew, David. Being an auntie is severely underrated. Like, severely underrated. Yeah, no, nobody should touch you without your consent, no matter what kind of touch.
I hate it when people do the hug thing where they're like, and I'm like, no, don't touch me. I don't want it.
This is a great YouTube comment. Alex said their favorite YouTube comment ever received was that I remind them of the aunt who gets drunk at Christmas and gets brutally honest in a fun way. And that's what I want to be for my nieces. That is amazing. I said, nice. What, Faffy? A man squeezed my rolls on the subway.
He just so he
our silence made me laugh because yeah. I just no.
I don't even know what to say.
If you don't understand why I am team fuck men, they are the worst.
No, don't fuck them.
No, like men can fuck off and die. They are the worst. A story like that should tell you. And even if that was a woman, I would still stand by my statement because I don't care.
Right? And yes, said what in gay hell?
I love this from Deja. Like I have my niece. If I give my niece a Fenty gloss and can convert her into a little clown, I've done my job. Like if I could like give my niece like a fun piece of makeup, and you said concert, so I thought, and like take them to their first concert, like shit like that, like that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Would you like me to kill that guy for you? Because it sounds like he sucks, and I'd totally kill that guy for you. Agreed. Like, what? Oh.
Yeah. I don't, because like, yes. I already look at people. If you're even before the pandemic, if you were within like 3 to 5 feet of me, I was already looking at you like this.
It's okay, Deja. I'm tired too.
Yeah, me too. I'm starting to get to the like part of my evening.
Yes. But yeah, rage. Like y'all wonder why people have rage? Why in particular there's rage? Men is usually what, yeah.
Yeah, there's like massive distress. Like, listen, there's so many things where it's like one man once was like, how are you supposed to catch a husband when you smoke like that? And I was like, I'm not trying to catch a husband. Fucking piece of shit.
I love this. My plan is to take my nieces to their first horror movie at a slightly too young age and buy them all the candy. Yeah. I love it.
Also, Alex, if you haven't seen Followed, it's going to make you super mad if you have the ability to watch it. It's like $5, I think, on Amazon Prime to own it. It's annoying, but it's like, because it's $4.99 to rent it and like $5 to own it. So like.
But you said it's going to make you mad?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking to you about earlier today.
So why would you buy it?
Because it was $5.
But like now that you know that it's terrible.
Yeah, but even if she watches it, if she wants to watch it, the rent to buy ratio is like stupid. So I don't mind owning it because now I can watch it as like a master class in shitty horror. Like because I'm going to be a good auntie. And I'm going to be like, this is a shitty horror film. And let me show you all the reasons why. Let's watch it together and break it down. Like
my brain finally connected that you're reveling in the shitty horror film because Alex was just talking about going to a horror movie. I'm like, why would you tell somebody to buy a shitty horror movie?
Because there's also like a joy in bad horror films. To be honest, like there's a bunch of people who are like, this is bad, but I love it.
No, my brain was just like the wires are not connecting, but now I understand. Oh yes, we will. Fingers crossed for you, Meg. Meg got their first COVID swab today. Feeling fine, staying safe, but asked to do it for work.
Holly Rose.
Whoa.
This is what I think would be a good way to end our evening. Pop it up like right here. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I keep clicking. Okay, I'm gonna not click it. Click it.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's my fault too.
Holly Rose. I'm weird in that I hate any unwanted male attention. A guy at work asked me how old I was, and when I said 42, he yelled, "You are beautiful for 42," as if I should be hideous. Thank you.
But also, you are not weird to hate unwanted male attention.
Everyone should. We're going to get murdered by them. Of course we're going to hate it.
Unwanted male attention is a fact of life for women, and we have to actively fight against it, yet also keep ourselves safe. So I hate that too. And I hate that I always have to be on edge about it. So fuck that 25-year-old and their unwarranted opinion and their disrespect to yell that at you. Like, what's wrong with people? This. Okay.
Yeah, Deja, there's one. I'm going to have to find it and tell you about it because I watched a bad erotica recently and I think you would enjoy it. Shh, stop. 5, 4, 3. That's what I thought.
So we've had such a good discussion tonight. It sounds like it's time for there to be outside times for the dog child. So thank you all so much for spending your time with us. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to me or to Audra, please subscribe, both of us. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday nights on Audra's channel and Thursdays on my channel. And like, comment, share, do all those things. Thank you for your time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.